Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. I know that you're all hungry and probably need some more drinks, so we'll just get this kicked off to start. Thank you. I'm Nick, VP of Performance Marketing here at Xsolla. I've been in the marketing and UA space for about 15 years. Here to talk about our recent partnership with Singular and how you guys can use that for web shops.
I'll just use this one. Hi, my name is Niels. I'm the partnerships manager for Singular, covering EMEA and MENA. For those who don't know who we are, we're an independent MMP. We provide measurement and attribution solutions for web, for mobile, and also for PC and console. On top of that, what we do is we provide data infrastructure, so you can have all of that data imported to a data warehouse. And then lastly, we develop a couple of AI tools, which means that you can talk to your data to find out what is working for you and what is not. And then also we have an AI creative solution that I'll talk about a bit later down.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see so many familiar faces, clients, peers, friends. And for me, it's the first time on stage, so bear with me. I already told them I'm very nervous. So my name is Roland. I'm the gaming lead for EMEA for Aarki. For the people who don't know Aarki, Aarki is a mobile DSP, was so far pretty famous for their retargeting activities, and based on that success, we already joined the UA space, and yeah, very excited to be here today, and thank you all for coming.
So now I'm going to cover quickly what Xsolla does for all of you. All right. So Xsolla, direct-to-consumer payments company. We drive revenue for gaming companies. For those who don't know, we're the #1 web shop provider in the world. $3 billion of revenue passes through us. And as you can see, our games are in the 60 of the top 100 web shops, and we have a 40% conversion rate. We're all over the globe. We're here meeting you in Cyprus. We have offices in Malaysia, in the US. If you need a market and you want to have access to payments in that market, come talk to us. We'll help you out. And lastly, our web shop, these are our benchmarks. 60% of your sales can be shifted from a platform where you have a 30% fee to a web shop where our standard fee is 5%. Lifetime value growth of 15%, increase in your conversion on your purchasing users, and repeat purchases increases because you can live op and you can customize your web store. Now, as we go on, I want to just talk about some things that are going on in the industry. So, what do you think in 2025 is important? And for the first of that, we'll go to Roland.
Hi. This is just with camera.
Thank you. Okay, so I had many options to speak about today. Obviously, a lot of AI related stuff, but I thought maybe something that is in everyone's head as well when we think about inflation itself, right? Probably you all remember the times when we went to the supermarket and we had 50 euros in our pockets and we went home with 4 big bags. And nowadays you go home with 2 bags, right? So inflation is real. It's real also in our space. And when we have a closer look, competition is also pretty fierce, right? 3,000 apps are launched on a daily basis, and global CPI growth by 12% year over year. It's getting more and more expensive, and you're getting less for your money. And obviously, the main question is also, will non-gaming surpass the gaming spend this year? All questions we are not sure yet of, but as you can see, it's not getting easier for marketeers and people who have to spend money and have to take wise decisions every day. But next slide, please. There should be another one, but anyway.
Yeah, you can say. Okay. So for me, there's a couple of maybe trends in the industry that we're seeing, and to touch on what Roland says, definitely is around AI. If you look at the reality of a lot of developers, their teams are getting smaller, but they need to do more with the headcount that they have. So if you're running performance marketing or paid UA, whatever you want to call it, what we're seeing is hey, on average, people run about 5 to 10 different networks or platforms This can increase, of course, if you have a large operation or if you have multiple games. But then within those, you're going to be active in many countries and you'll be running a lot of creatives at the same time. Now, the role of the MMP is, of course, to tell you what is working, what creative is performing, what country is performing, what network is actually delivering ROI. But you also want to understand why is this? And you don't want to spend too much time in figuring that out, right? You don't want to spend hours like going through a dashboard. And this is where the AI part comes in. For us, there's like two main developments here. The first development is around integrating LLMs in our dashboard. So what we've done is we integrated ChatGPT in the singular dashboard, which means that if you have questions around your data or your campaign performance, you simply ask them, and then you'll get a response based on, hey, what is working best for me in France right now? Which keyword should I be putting my money on? Which creators have been performing best in the past 2 weeks? You don't need to look that up. You literally get the response right away. That ties in with what we call creative IQ. Again, if we understand, if you run sets of creators across different networks, what are those networks? Like, what is the cost? What is the ROI of those? Let me then also look into why are these creators performing? Is it because of a specific character there? Is it because of a specific call to action? Is it because of any other property that we can tag? And that is what we did a few months ago with the Creative IQ launch, and then I'll finalize there. Creative is the lever that you have if you want to remain competitive in the UA space. CPIs are increasing, so if you manage to find the creative that works, that can bring that creative down, then that is something that is going to benefit you like in the long run. Second trend is around cross-platform development. So we're seeing a lot of mobile players also going online. And then the question becomes, okay, if I have a web property and if I have a mobile property, how do I actually track that user? And how can I allocate events that are attached to that specific user? Same goes, by the way, if you run console titles. The question remains, like, what is driving ROI? And what tactics can I use to increase the ROI in my campaign? So those are the trends that we're seeing and that we're working on.
The trends that Xsolla is seeing recently are all around regulation. I'm sure many of you know about the Apple versus Epic court case that's recently happened, allowing US stores to sell directly to their users. This is a big deal. It allows you to directly contact your users via the web shop, give them better offers, better live ops. That's a really big thing. We have Digital Markets Act that might happen in Europe coming up. So a lot of our things for 2025 are all around what's happening in the mobile space, what's happening with platforms, and how the regulation is changing on those platforms. The other thing we see is, as highlighted by both Aarki and Singular, the crazy amount of competition for acquiring users. UA is a really difficult problem to solve. It's becoming more expensive, and you have to worry about your retention of those users. Is another game going to take your users away? Are they going to be able to monetize better? And with a web shop, you get more dollars out of your UA. So instead of running on a 30% where you buy a user for $10, they pay $10, you get $7, you're still $3 in the hole. On a 5% fee, it makes the UA math a lot easier. So I'm going to go on to do a pretty brief web shop intro, and then I'll go on to some more questions about market challenges. So I want to highlight here, this is just an example of a live web shop with Tilting Point. They drive 50% of their revenue through the Xsolla web shop. Their capture rate is 55%. That means 55% of their paying users are using the web shop. Their ARPU is $600, and this is a moderately sized web shop. At the time of this data, it has since increased, but it's a more than 20,000 in individual sales. So you can see the difference that makes on a 5% fee versus a 30% fee. And you can offer different live ops packages for those users, retain them. So once you acquire them, you can either retarget them back or get them to the web shop. Value comes, features and bonuses on the web. So loyalty programs that you can't do on traditional platforms are available on the Xsolla web shop. Special offers and direct deep links to the web shop. I will say that if you are a singular customer, as of today, the integration with the Xsolla web shop is live. You can go to our tech documentation and you can go to your singular platform, you can connect, and you will be able to get attribution data from any campaigns you run, even with Aarki, to your web shop. And then last thing about web shops is it allows you to use different types of media to just move your players directly over to the web shop. You can use social media, you can use deep links, all of that is supported in this case with our live singular. So if you have a deep link on your social media that drives to the web shop, you can then offer custom packages, you can offer rewards, free claim items, all of those things that you can't do on a traditional platform. So last slide here is you just maximize your success. Transparent analytics is a big deal. We're going to be talking more about that. You'll be able to see what your data is, what you're getting out of it, and why it's important. ROAS, LTV, all of those things that every marketer and every product owner should be concerned with. All right. And this is the last thing. This is the live integration. If you want more information, please talk to someone from Singular or Xsolla here. As I stated, it is live now. You can use it. So I'm going to start off with a question for Aarki here. What's the major hurdle in discovering and tracking users?
So there was a slight confusion with the slide, so maybe I just finish up with that point, if that's okay. Yeah. So the never-ending loop of UA, which I wanted to finish, is you see that UA spend is going up and up, but we don't have more players in the market, right? So what is essentially happening is you're not finding new users, you're really just buying the same ones over and over again. That can happen through mistakes in suppression list, integrations with the MMPs. It's small stuff, but it adds up, right? And how to overcome these challenges later on. I will speak about more retargeting solutions and yeah. Okay, now I'll speak about retargeting solutions then. So obviously there are a lot of alternatives that you have instead of pushing money into UA channels. Think of retargeting as your friend and let retargeting do what currently your UA activity does. So I think a good example is yesterday, I was on YouTube and I have a free Now app installed. I'm still getting user acquisition campaigns from them, even I'm a very loyal user. So it's just wasted money, right? And they could have gotten me back with some targeted and specialized creatives or offers. They know the activities I'm doing. They know why I'm probably not there anymore. So they have something to offer better, I think, at this point. And also think about the CRM solutions that you have currently doing actively, or your offline solutions. Close the loop with in-app retargeting like with us, and also support your live activities, your promotions. And yeah, I think this is where retargeting can really add value to your UA or in general, or to your mix of spend.
Same question as Singular. Yeah. What are the hurdles? Account cracking, attributing a player across a Xsolla platform. Why does that make sense?
I think right now, like the hurdle is more that there's so many players in the market. And, if you go beyond, like, say, the traditional 5, most folks will be working with a Meta, with a TikTok, with a Google, and also with an AppLovin. The question becomes, like, if you do channel diversification, how quickly can I see if a specific network that I'm adding is actually driving value, driving ROI, or not? And for that, in essence, you need 2 data sets. You need to understand, like, what are they driving in terms of the installs, and you want to combine that with how much am I spending there and the properties that I'm running. If you then combine that with AI, you can quickly find out if I'm investing in a new DSP, which I always recommend people should do, how quickly can I see that return of investment, and, like, does it make sense to shift more budgets that way, yes or no? I think one thing is important to note here is that your MMP should be an independent partner. We have a situation right now where some networks are actually owning the measurement as well. which, in my opinion, leads to a conflict of interest because the measurement should be holistic, should be trustworthy, and should give you with the accurate data, allowing you to make fast decisions. So you don't overinvest in one partner, but you invest in an ecosystem where large partners, like the ones I mentioned, drive good results, but we can also expand to like adding, say, 5 to 10 other partners.
Moving on, we're going to discuss why it's critical to unify data. We partly covered this on you really need transparency, you need activation in your data, you need to understand what your UA campaigns are doing, what drives to web shop and how much return is it getting you, what's a new user cost you, what's a returning user cost you so you can be in a successful title. So the next question is to Aarki is, data's always been an issue for companies that scale user acquisition, and it's important. How do you deal with that, and how do you use insights on that data to be actionable and actually matter for campaigns that you run?
So I think we all can agree that data is the new gold, especially the data that you generate with your own players. And if you think about a general player, he installs roughly up to 100 games or apps a year, but he stays just with 15 roughly every year. So what the question you should ask yourself is, where are these people going after they churn, after they don't play your games anymore? And obviously with the data that you provide, for example, with a single integration, you share the audiences with us, we are able to see in the open RTB space where these users are active, and we can give this report and insights to you. And based on that information, you have a competitive edge, and you can use this wisely for your creative strategy, for the messaging that you provide to the users, and obviously on the long term as well to design and change your game. This is an example of how actionable data is a gold mine. It's just a random example where casual game players are, where they're going afterwards. So you see that they still play a lot, but there's also a heavy part of non-gaming, as they're always constantly jumping around. Use this data wisely for yourself, and you will see higher DAUs, MAUs, and obviously retention will also increase by that.
Is there anything from the Sailor side you would like to add on actual data?
Yeah, I think I want to go back to the point of AI. It's like, what is actionable data? It's like, it's great to have everything like in one place that you can use as your single source of truth, allowing you to expose granular ROI insights. But it's the speed at which you operate, which is really going to make a difference in the coming year. And here I think the AI advantage really comes into play. Very often what we see is that the role of the UA manager means that you spend quite a lot of time figuring out why something is performing. So like, we know what is performing, right? Because you can see it like in an Excel sheet, or you can see it in a report, but trying to understand and puzzle together, but why is it? Is it the keyword? Is it the creative? Or what else is it? Now, if you are quick, then you get a massive advantage over your competition. Right, because like, Ronan rightfully says as well, like how many games that are competing in your game are being released all the time, or like how many people are finding the golden nugget within a specific network. These are the things that are going to be extremely important in 2026.
As we close out the discussion, I want to bring up success cases or innovations that you guys have seen in 2025. I'll start. One of the innovations from the Xsolla side is the Xsolla buy button. I talked about regulation before, but many of you may not know that in the US specifically, because of court rulings, you can actually send a user directly from your app to the web shop. You can do a third-party payment, completely legal, normal, and we have a buy button now. So you put a deep link in, it transitions the user to the web shop, and while they're in the app experience, so if they need to buy resources or a refresh on a life, They can go directly do that without having to go through a normal login flow, etc. And it's a great innovation. We're hoping that regulation will continue to allow that in other markets, but it's something that's really interesting for us because it allows games to then directly give their users better options. So instead of having to have a price point that matches a platform, you can say get a life and a bonus life through the buy button, for example. So I'm going to pass this over to Singular first to talk about any innovations they may have seen in 2025 or success cases.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I have to say I'm super happy that we have the integration with Xsolla live now. Because at the end of the day, the question remains, if I spend money to acquire a user, how can I actually maximize the ROI I get on that individual user? And having an external web shop that is easily accessible and easy to set up is in essence like an extra revenue stream. So very happy that's in place. In terms of the innovations, like I'm a bit like a repeat record here. It's AI, AI, and AI, nothing else. The speed of which you can work if you've integrated an LLM in your campaign, day-to-day routine. For us, it's ChatGPT, but integrating every LLM out there. This is the innovation that is going to be running the show.
Yeah, just to share quickly some innovations from our side, obviously. Thank you for that quote. So paid retargeting, obviously, conversions grew 10% faster than installs. So what that means is the industry is shifting quite quickly to that resources. And also, just to mention it briefly, as you understand that Aarki is a mobile DSP with in-app traffic currently. We're also looking into more and more to app-to-web use cases that obviously fit in very well with the Xsolla offerings. And obviously also we need the help of the MMPs to do all of this. And we're super happy to have more discussions with you over these days. If you can be one of the partners that maybe can be one of the guinea pigs to test it out, yeah?
That's going to close it out for us. As a reminder, Xsolla, Singular, and Aarki, if you have any questions, please come talk to us. But I will open it up for if anybody has a question they would like answered immediately. I'll take that as a no. Everyone, enjoy your food, enjoy your drinks, and have a great time here in Cyprus. Thank you.